So in the last video, we talked about getting everybody to play together and play a sequence of chords together. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use that sequence to play a song. And the song those chords belong to is Shotgun by George Ezra. So really well-known pop song, super popular right now. Whenever you're watching this video, I'm sure it'll be a different song that's very popular, but the basic principles are still going to apply. So a lot of pop songs are composed of a few different parts, like a verse, a chorus, maybe a bridge, or like a middle eight, if you prefer to call it that. And not all pop songs, but you'll find there are plenty out there that the chords for all those different parts of the songs are the same. And that's true of Shotgun, it's true of this song. So really, we've already done the hard work in learning the song. We've learned the sequence, we've learned to play it together. And all we really need to do to make it recognisable is put the lyrics on top. So, we go like this. Homegrown alligator, see you later. Gonna hit the road, gonna hit the road. And here we go, all of a sudden, that thing that we were playing has become a song. Worth noting, I've transposed it. I've transposed it for two reasons. Firstly, George Ezra has like a crazy low voice and I cannot sing that low. The second is I've transposed it into a key that means that we don't need to use any of these black notes on keyboard or these in-between notes on the guitar. So we're only ever going to be playing a colour. We're not dealing with flats and sharps, accidentals. So it just makes it like just a little bit easier to get the hang of when we're just starting out. So the next thing that I'm going to do with the group is I'm going to remind everybody of that sequence and we're going to play it together and I'm going to sing over the top so that everybody can really recognise what it is. And when the song comes together like that and people start going, oh yeah, I know this one, that's really nice. It's a nice sense of achievement for people because they're playing something that they recognise and that's really cool. So once we've been round and done that, I tend to ask if someone wants to sing. And most of the time somebody does want to sing. In some groups, everyone's no, especially teenagers, and especially teenage boys, for some reason. So in that case, it's going to be my job to sing, which isn't great for anybody, but that's where we end up. But then once we've been through the song a couple of times and we know we can play it, and there's a thing about maintaining stamina through a song as well. So we might just start with a verse and then a chorus and build up to getting through the whole song, because maybe like 3.5 minutes is maybe quite a long time for somebody to be playing if they're not used to doing it. But the next thing we're going to start talking about is, well, that's great, we know how to play a song, but how do we make it sound more like it? So what I mean by that is we're going to start thinking about an arrangement, some sort of like orchestration. And that often means we sit down, we listen to the song together, and we'll maybe write out, maybe on a whiteboard, what can you hear playing now? What's stopped, what's missing between the verse and the chorus? Because quite often what happens is, lots of stuff is in the chorus and a load of stuff drops out at the verse. And then we have a discussion about the instruments that we have around us and who's playing what and what would maybe be good to have in at the verse and what would be good to leave till the chorus and all those sorts of things. And kids will have loads of different ideas about that. And you might think that they're great, you might think that that's terrible. But it's really important for them to be able to try those things out for themselves. So we'll probably spend quite a long time saying, okay, well, what happens if you don't play at the chorus and what happens if you wait for the verse? And that's really great because it starts teaching people to listen. If we're sort of not being great about taking turns, it really teaches people to take turns as well. And if you want to get really interactive with it, you can have someone conducting. You tell people when to start and stop. Point at them or give them a stop. Or whatever gestures make sense to them. And that's also a really good way to involve some people who are maybe struggling a bit with the physical side of playing, maybe getting a little bit frustrated, it can give them a really sort of like defined role. And actually it's nice because you wield a lot of power when you're the conductor. So there are lots of different ways to achieve this, but what we want is we want everyone to be playing together as much as possible, and we want everybody to have a sense of ownership about what they've created. They've made decisions, they've been part of that process. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to play the song on lots of different instruments, how we might do it. On my iPad over here, probably a bit tricky to see, but there's some really nice sounds on GarageBand that we can use. I've got this set up on an Alchemy synth on the chord setting, and at the beginning of Shotgun there's a really nice little sort of like series of broken chords, and they're really easy to do on GarageBand. So we can have a lot of fun playing with sounds and trying to find something that sounds like that thing we hear at the beginning. And you know, the one that I've picked out for just now is this one. So we can start with that, and maybe if someone's playing drums, then they can give us a click in, 2, 3, 4. If someone's on guitar, maybe at the verses we're just playing one note. But maybe at the chorus we're playing 4. Or if someone's really taken to some more complex rhythms. And all those sorts of things. Allow people to be creative with it. And I think that that's half the fun of it, is making something that you already know, but making it your own. All right. Happy playing. Forgot to mention, I'm going to put some resources for this up on the Drake Music Scotland website, and there'll be some Figurenotes notation, some lyrics and chords, hopefully, and maybe some suggested settings for iPads and apps and things like that as well, so do check that out.